I feel like establishing one more contrast, this time between the present poem and the poem of Kamala Das titled Blood. If you feel that I am working out comparisons and contrasts in an insanely large number, please forgive me. And also, please understand that comparisons and contrasts help you to allow your examiner to understand that your focus of study has not been on a specific point alone, but that you have been able to gain an overall grasp of the area of the discipline. Blood is one of the early poems of Kamala Das. I think she was about 18 years old when she wrote the poem. It is about her family mansion, Nalapot House. Kamala Das has written a bunch of poems on Nalapot House, including My Grandmother's House, of course, Evening at the Old Nalapot House, and Blood. The lines of the poem, Blood, make it very clear how much the speaker cherishes her own personal identity, cherishes her familial past, cherishes her ancestral mansion, which as she reveals in her poem, is 300 years old. The point I am trying to make is that by writing small scale reflections on a great house, A.K. Ramanujan was doing something strikingly original. Small scale reflections on a great house is certainly a new direction in Indian poetry in English, a poem in which the poet swims against the current of Indian poetry in English. By the way, when Kamala Das was invited to read her poems at Montreal, Blood was one of the poems she chose to read. And I think she was introduced to the audience by Merrily Weisbord. And the event is on YouTube, Kamala Das reading Blood to the Montreal audience and winning its applause. The next three stanzas, or rather the next four stanzas, are quite important because they deal with the marriages contracted by the members of the family. The poet has very interesting things to say about these marriages. The boys who marry into the family completely forget their mothers and remain in the great house, the so-called great house, checking accounts, verifying accounts, or teaching arithmetic to nieces. Nieces, not nephews. Probably they find teaching arithmetic to nieces more enjoyable than teaching arithmetic to nephews. The girls who marry into the family come from illustrious houses, great houses, very much like or even greater than the great house which lies at the thematic structure of the present poem. These great houses are so well constructed, so grand, that they are open on one side to rising suns, on another side to setting suns. I hope you now get an idea about how well constructed these grand mansions are. Let us read the next few lines. Accustomed to wait and to yield to monsoons in the mountains' calendar, beating through the hanging banana leaves. At first blush, I found it a little confusing. Even now, I'm not very sure of what the lines mean. I think the best understanding, the best interpretation is that the houses, the great houses, from which the girls come do not have attached toilets, or for that matter, toilets at all. And the girls are used to answering the call of nature in the open. They probably go to the mountains to answer the call of nature. And the monsoons beating to the hanging banana leaves, the rain beating to the hanging banana leaves, interferes in these operations, preventing the girls from urinating, from defecating at the moments of their choice. This is, to my knowledge, to my awareness, the best possible interpretation of these lines. And if you have another interpretation, please be good enough to share it with me in the comments box.